I didn't know. How could I? All scions grow distant. They bear too much responsibility. They are only human. My poor Bridget. All she wanted was to serve Akara, and he allows this to happen. What is his protection worth if he can't stop one witch? Whatever shall we do now? The offering is upon us, but we have no one to offer. I don't know. I am shaken, as is my faith. We here on Gallows End are a fragile few. We have always survived by the grace of Akara. I weep for the loss of my wife, but I tremble for the loss of my god. Magic prevents dead Kel from entering this village and from taking part in the offering ceremony. He is broken and not worthy of Akara's blessing. The Whispering Witch would be his key to unlock the power he's always coveted. Possessing Bridget, she would take the role of Scion, and all of the power came with it. It was an insidious plot, but undeniably inspired. You? There are others who waited a lifetime for the opportunity, only to have another chosen. But you did have the vision to discover Dead Kel's plot, and the strength to defeat the witch. Is there anyone more worthy of Akara's blessing? Yes, this is what must be done. Go to the ruins on the northern mountain and claim our people's birthright. There is no other way. The offering is held at the top of the northern mountain, in the ancient ruin called the Ring of the Watcher. I once knew Atari, but he was just a boy, and that was many years ago now. I wonder whatever became of him. You are the Scion now. My wife Bridget gave her life to stop Dead Kel's plot. It was a sacrifice to keep the rest of our village safe. That is how I will remember her. Strong.
If you find any books on the island, please permit me to borrow them. Everyone's been so nice. Still, they keep insisting that I forget about my old life and pitch in. Even from a young age, I loved languages. I grew up in a town with Alfar, humans, and even a gnome. Made it easy to pick up their native tongues. Strange little fellow. Myfa was good enough to tell him about me. For that, I am grateful.
Where have you been? Everyone is waiting for Alder's wife to come up here and do something. Not sure what, exactly. They said that the new Scion is meant to enter the Ring of the Watcher and accept the blessing of Akara. Whatever that means. Don't look at me. I've never done this before either.
Why do you wound me, stranger? The Alfar despise me, the gnomes fear me, but with you I have no conflict. My ship, my crew, my island, you've taken everything. But you will not have the blessing of Akara. It is my birthright. Have you ever tasted death, my friend? Have you felt her sweet lips upon your cheek? I was a dead man. I had finally found the peace that had always escaped me in life. But then Akara brought me back, took my hand and fished me from my slumber. I did not choose to be this. When Akara learned what I truly am, he abandoned his creation, leaving me to walk this earth in anguish. He owes me. It is more than these fools realize. So much more. Akara is ancient. All of Amalur has passed before his eyes, the wise and the wicked, and he has passed judgment. When you receive his power, you become one with Akara and his will. The wisdom, the strength, the magic. It is the power to change the world. Scion. It is a meaningless title. Don't let these fools blind you. They know nothing of Akara, only what he chooses to show them. There is no scion. There is only the power and the one who receives it. As long as I walk this island and sail those blue waters, I will seek what is rightfully mine. No one tells dead Kel when to die. Not Akara, not you. That is one power I still possess. I've never flown the white flag, and I will not start now. It betrays cowardice, and the craven are always the first to the bottom. You will pay for what you've done. If Akara will not give me his blessing, then I will tear it from your still-beating heart. The Baronet is eager to meet you, especially after what you did to his friends.
Surprised to see me? The truth is that you drew me here, not Akara. I've tried time and again to see your path, to read your weave, but I find nothing in the magic. Yet I have seen something new all on my own. It is hope, an opportunity to end the threat of dead Kel once and for all. That is what the Scion is meant to be. What you are. You are Akara's attempt to fix his own mistake. Go now, deep into Akara Tor, but do not go alone. You're destined to be joined by another. Alda's daughter? Yes, it is right that she go with you. Akara has torn her family to pieces. She will want revenge.
It's about time I met the omnipotent Akara. I can tell him how I feel to his face, if he even exists. He waits in the ruins of Akara Tor, hiding from his own people. It's time we put an end to this insult.
Come, Quickling. We have been waiting for you. Speak with us. Speak with Akara the Exile. We are the Exile. We did not desire to play the games of men and monsters, so we departed, seeking solace. On this island we took root, and here we first heard the cries of the lost, touched the tears of the broken. Quicklings bear such fragile yearnings. You need guidance. You need protection. Like us, you are exiles. The souls at rest above know nothing. They know only what we reveal. They know what brings them peace, what gives them hope. That is how it was for many passing seasons, but now all of it must come to an end. We are but one branch of the great tree, the ring of Kyozai, the watchers of our withering world. Only as a god would we be heard, and only as disciples would the people listen. To plant seeds, to inspire hope, to save. That is why we reached out to the Quicklings. But look at what our influence has wrought. Such a monster can only be born from power, and power will be the tool to unmake him. That is what we want. The unmaking of dead Kel. We were the 12, the sons and daughters of the Lagru, and the branches through which all wisdom whispers. We are the ring. Yes, Quickling. That is why I created the Scion. You are the vessel through which destruction will finally find dead Kel. That was always the purpose of the blessing. to give one individual the power to end this grievous cycle. Now, do what you came to do. End him, and end us. Think of it as one last offering to a grateful God. Akara will be no more.
So, it has come to this. I have nothing left to give you. Nothing but my hate. Nothing but my blade. From the moment that you crawled across our beaches, Akara has beckoned to you. He has called you by name, through Alder, through the Old Man Key, and perhaps even through me. In you, Akara can purge himself of any guilt. That is why you must die, because you have been given all the tools with which to conquer me. But dead Kel does not surrender. The Alpha surprised me. Their war galleys waited just off the coast, mages at the ready. It was over in seconds. Broken and bloody, I washed into these forgotten caverns and prepared my soul for eternity. It would have been a good place to die. That is when Akara, the fool, took it upon himself to save me. I had cheated the gallows, you see. I deserved that death in the cavern. I had won. Spare me your pity. All I want is the power, and that is lost to me yet again. Many have died. What is one more? I am a predator. Killing is what sustains me. But the sea does not judge. It only silences the screams. All I've ever done, I've done to survive. No one knows that truth more than I do. And you believe you are the one who will fix Akara's mistake? No, not like this. I will take what belongs to me, what I should have received in exchange for my free will. I will get it from Akara, or take it from you.
Dead Kel dead. Akara gone. Yet here we stand, alive and with the bright waves out ahead of us. This life, it is all I know. As much as I desire to leave this place, it is my home. And it needs me now more than ever. My mother is dead. My father is broken-hearted. There is much to be set right.
I will remake this village. I will start again. All of us working together. The will is there, even if the spirit is weak. I will not discuss it. Time is what I need. Time and faith. Not in Akara, but in myself. There was never a god here on Gallows End. But that doesn't mean good things were not done in his name. One day I will understand what that really means. When I reflect on all the blessings I received on this island, she was the greatest of them all. I did not need Akara to have a daughter.
The tunnels have been cleared, my liege. You are free to roam Gallows End to your heart's contentment. As far as exploring the island goes, I would recommend bringing on Zephwin Lan from Cape Solace as your scout. I think you'll like what I have planned next. A vast library! Just imagine! A monument to the wisdom of the ages, standing there beside the main structure, beckoning the unenlightened. But first, I'll need you to get me 3 bundles of bear hide, 3 bundles of ember wood, and 4 bundles of sailcloth. Yes, one of them mentions a library. At first, I was confused. I found many books, but not enough to warrant a whole building. But my dream again provided the answer. This part of the dream didn't make sense until now. I saw stacks of books, heard strange voices in tongues unknown to me. I believe this library was to be a center for translating arcane and lost languages. It's going to be a tribute to knowledge, one that will drive a Dessa to envy. Zephwin has provided me with possible locations of the materials. I'll be ready to start as soon as you get back.
I saw you coming. The cards spoke to me like they have not in ages. You are the one I was marooned here to find. My path has been made for me. You see, there are few in this world who can truly plot its course. Many try, but all of them fail. Great figures always rise up. Sometimes the gods create them, and sometimes they create the gods. But true heroes are born. Or in your case, reborn. You are the scion now, and you carry with you the blessing of Akara. There is no one on this earth more worthy of being called a god than you. And so I will go, to prepare the way. For when you come, the world changes, and the people must be ready. Before you came, I was waiting to die. I'd given up, you see. But I've seen what you can do. If you can change the world, perhaps I can as well. Not in the same way, of course, but, well, enough to make a difference.
Oh, you've come at last. I've been praying for your return. Cape Solace is under attack. Ships have landed. Prisoners have been taken. We have no one left to protect us. My daughter Nina and a few others. She must have been poking her nose where it didn't belong, creeping through the crevices of the northern cliffs. How many times have I told her not to venture too far from the village? That girl, when will she open her eyes? They want the power beneath this island, Akara's magic, which many over the centuries have coveted and sought to possess. Understand, Gallows End has long been a prize for the corrupt and the curious. The Arathi, the Alfar, the Tverga, and even Dead Kel. Invaders come brandishing their weapons, but always they are swept back out to sea. They are not welcome here. I want to believe you, but without our guardian Akara watching over us, we are nothing but victims. Now we face these new invaders, and the world, alone. They are led by a Loselfar nobleman named Calder Von, a scholar and mage who has studied this island intensely, and who wishes to have it for himself. He brings with him the righteous flames of the Niskaru, demons he has harnessed for this purpose, and this purpose alone. I certainly believe that you will try, but I have learned my lesson. Never again will I place our lives in the hands of another. Don't you understand? We are all alone, each and every one of us. The prisoners are being kept in a cavern in the northern cliffs. Do your best. That is all any of us can do. It is likely that they are being kept in the landing party's camp in the cliffs to the north. You must move quickly. Someone came. I thought all hope was lost. Everyone else is gone, dead, tortured by a madman named Calder Von. He wants the power of this island, that which belongs to Akara. If only he knew the truth. There is no time. You must go. Von has brought with him Niskaru. They will wipe Cape Solace off the beach and kill anyone found there. Go. Once again, a threat to Gallows End has been defeated. I wish I could say it was the first such attack. But perhaps a new season has begun. One where we must fend for ourselves and not fall back on the promises of a faceless god. I don't know who you are, stranger, but your presence here has shaken us. We will survive, but it will take time.
It's done, my liege. Be sure to have a look around. I am certain you'll be impressed. Incidentally, I've taken the liberty of inviting a recent castaway, a Deirdre Gwent, to serve the keep as your librarian and linguist. You should speak to her in the library. We've built out, yes, but now it's time to build up. In my dream, the keep was much taller than it is now, and the debris does suggest that there was once a second floor above the throne room with an art gallery. I'll just need you to get me the following materials: 4 bundles of beechstone, 3 bundles of emberwood, 2 bundles of sailcloth, and 3 bundles of sea steel. The books mention the construction of a second floor, but nothing about how it was used. Perhaps it was just there to make the keep taller and more impressive, so I'm all for that. My dream sheds no light on how the second floor was used. I recall flashes of gold and other bright colors, but I don't know what to make of that. I suppose I'll just build it and see what inspiration occurs. I'm not sure that the Deverga are much into art, but it was in my dream that the second floor was an art gallery. Great. Zephwin told me some locations you should be able to find the materials I need. I'll get to work as soon as you're back.
Welcome to the Gravehall Keep Library. It's everything I hoped it would be and more. I've only barely arrived and I feel myself again. I didn't know what I was going to do down there without something to read. It's already a fine collection of lost books thanks to Paddy's diligent searching. I hope you will add to it if you discover books around the island. I've been doing some thinking, and I have an idea to build our collection and use my extensive linguistic skill. During my short time here, I found a few books written in ancient languages. I suspect there are more like them on the island, waiting to be found. Should you find any more such books, please bring them to me, and I will gladly translate them for you. I can speak half a dozen languages, and I can read twice that. If there's a book I can't translate, I haven't seen it yet. My first days on the island were stressful, so I spent my time exploring as far from the camp as I safely could. On one of these walks, I found an astonishingly old book in a language I didn't know. Translating this book helped me to engage my mind, and I think kept me sane. I soon found another such book, and another. I was still miserable, but I was busy and thinking. I love translating books. Just bring them to me when you find them. It shouldn't take me more than a day to translate anything.
May Lyria bless you, my liege, for saving us from that crude village. I was beginning to despair after being greeted by that heretic who rules it. When Patrick found me and told me of your keep, I moved here immediately. I guarantee you that after you receive my healing touch, you will forget all about your troubles. I am unused to surroundings such as these. Perhaps you could hire a maid. I have not had to change linens myself since I was a child. I was sleeping in my cabin when the ship lurched suddenly. The sailors were all exclaiming that something had hit us and that it was a calamity. The ship drifted for days before it finally broke in two. I do not know how I was able to swim so far.
You must be the master of the keep. Your scout, Zephwin. He found me on the coast. Hopefully I can be of some use here. I do offer training. We would sometimes make port there. It's a Varani trading town. We don't much care for outsiders there. To be honest with you, I was part of a pirate ship. We would steal cargo from other ships, and it was my job to hide it. You wouldn't believe the places you can fit goods into on a ship. We had just scored a huge load of cargo when we sprung a leak. I think we were weighted down too much. We had to abandon ship. We made it to this island, but my mates, they turned into those fair Gorta. Fortunately, I got away before they could get me. We Varani like to sail, although not as much as the Deverga. The closest Varani city to here is Fort Olkhorn.
Well, I'll be. It's nice to see a fellow traveler running the show. Paddy's been so kind to take me in after my ship wrecked. Don't worry, though. I'm putting myself to use. I sell things, and buy them too. No questions asked. I was doing a stint in Moon Camp when old Irian caught me cheating in dice. He kicked me out of the camp, so I got on the next ship out of Rathir. I was hoping to end up in Edessa, not this crazy island. I didn't really buy my way here so much as stowaway. Things went south when the captain found me and tied me to the sail. That probably saved my life, though, or else I'd be as dead as the rest of them. Takes one to know one. I like what you've done here, like our very own traveler's camp.
You had me worried. Honestly, why do you act like that, throwing yourself headlong into dangerous situations? No more. Do you hear me? If you and I are going to woo, and woo with vigour, you're going to be more considerate of my needs. And there are many. Like sex. I mean sex. To show that you're my consort, you should take this. It's a sword. It was my mother's. She was a terrible person. Not as immortal as everyone supposed, was he? At least I had a hand in his defeat. As my mother always said, if you can't be the best at something, find the best, grab onto them, and never let them go. That I can do.
What do you want? I'm beset by petitioners these days. Another advocate for this absurd plan to retake Melsenshire, I take it. Look to Rathir's sister across the strait. Her battered walls, her burned gardens, her back broken from a decade of war. We take in refugees. We send them food that we can spare. We try to ease her pain. But for 10 years I stood here and watched her die slowly. And now you, a stranger, think to convince me to commit the whole of this city to saving her because our army's greatest failure has recovered some old relic. Melsenshire stands as Rathir's eastern shield. Even now nearly broken, she still stands. This city can do nothing for the fortress, but perhaps its people can. The wounded we have here wish to return to fight for the fortress one last time. I'll tell them to meet you at the docks, and take this as well from my own collection. May it be of use to you in the coming battle. They have delved earthward where we have lifted high. They think no one watches them because they are thus sheltered. The deeper they dig, the higher we will rise. I am the Elund, and I speak with the voice of the Orbakant. Within this city, my word is law. The city of walls is lost to us, and we can afford no more troops for them. Better to muster our forces to counterattack after its fall. Those who watch and govern Rathir, they sit in secret council. Even their names are unknown, and are thus above corruption and idolatry. Only I am known, the Elund, their voice. They rule Rathir, and they do so from behind a veil. I am their face and their voice. Rathir has taken in half of Melsenshire's population as refugees from the war. Orphans fill our poorhouses. They've never seen their parents' city and never will. I realize they long for their home, but they need to accept a painful fact. Rathir is their only home now. Melsenshire is no more. You carry with you Rathir's bravest sons and daughters. Realize that if you fail to liberate that withered wall, you will have doomed our city as well. Do not speak to me of the war. I am the voice of Rathir, not a general or a fate weaver, nor Lyria herself, who alone controls the outcome. Go to the eastern docks in the lower city and find Captain Dodwin. He will oversee your journey to Melsenshire.
Hi. You know, before I met you, I swore to myself that my fighting days were behind me. After fighting nearly all my life, it was one of the hardest things I've had to do. But now you've taken me this far. If I don't take these next steps on my own, I don't think I ever will.
The ships are loading now for Melsen Shear. Are you ready to board? Right away.
Agarth, you know better than any of us how this will end. Why must we fight a war that you know we will not win?
You would still ask that to Lara, after all you've seen.
Until I get an answer, Fate Weaver. Until then.
Why do we fight? Because there is hope. Because only through battle can we break the chains that fate has forged. Don't you see? We have been given a chance. And though some of us will die, we will die knowing that our lives were finally our own. That we are no longer slaves to the whims of fate. Would you throw it away? Just for fear of another defeat? Not I. I will fight. And if I die knowing that I have made a choice. And this choice, for good or for ill, was my own.
Commander O'Wyglen wants to talk before we leave. Witch Knight Malwyn and his forces bested me 10 years ago, and I've been preparing myself since then. If I'm not ready now, then I don't deserve another chance.
Not exactly the heroes of legend, but you're a welcome sight nonetheless. Cluricon is all swamp, jungle and death. Have you ever tried fighting an army in a place like this? It's hot, wet, and it always smells like something died, because something did. We've been the front line of this war for the last decade. The fact that Melsen Shear still stands at all is a testament to all we've sacrificed. I was just a child before the siege started. I joined the army because I dreamed of becoming a hero like the great General Tilera. Funny thing, dreams. The General's army used to defend us, but that was before the Tuatha started summoning Niskaru to join them. Tilera's forces never stood a chance. Still, she blamed herself and went into exile. We could have used her here, but heroes only show up when you really need them, right? Likely you've come to see the fortress before it falls. I've seen her stand for the last 10 years, but the end, I think, has finally come. Our scouts report that the Tuatha are massing, and in their wake we've seen it. The Niskaru Lord, Baelor, has come for Melsen Shear at last. Indeed, they expect us to hide behind the walls of Melsen Shear. Instead, we'll rush the field and delay the Baelor's arrival. That leaves the Witch Knight. Malwyn is the commander of the Tuatha forces, and likely the one who has made a pact with the Baelor. You and Tilera will be part of an effort to kill him. If we can kill Witch Knight Malwyn, then the Baelor may run rampant in the field, and in the chaos we can rout the Tuatha. It is much to hope for, but that's the plan. The real mission goes to General Tilera and yourself. My place is with my brothers and sisters, on the ground and against the enemy. When you're ready, come meet me by the gates. We've hidden from these nightmares long enough. Now we must face them, and perhaps we'll live to see the morning. Those bastards keep squeezing us and squeezing us. Well, it's time for them to see what we mortals can do. When Melsen Shear was built, the Winter Fae weren't the friendliest of neighbours, but they were nothing like the Tuatha they've become.
I hope you're ready for what lies ahead. This is no time to make jokes. These people are scared, and your chances are slim, with or without that spear. Melsen Shear's fate was sealed long ago. You may be able to change that, but the Tuatha aren't taking any chances. Prepare to fight, and be ready to die.
Aye. Child, you can't hide a good battle from an old hero. I wouldn't have missed this for all the wine in the House of Ballads. It's been 20 years since I've had the honor of fighting by Tilera's side. They used to call her the Lady of the Lance, and they will again if I'm any judge.
What is it? Time is running out. Steel yourselves. The battle is not to be taken lightly. Then let us go. We've had sightings of the Tuatha vanguard. When they enter the courtyard, we will open the gates and counterattack. You and Talera will use the distraction to execute your plan. One way or another, this will be over soon.
Hore Sunera Alfor!
Our hunt for Malwyn can now begin in earnest. I will take one path and you another. If O'Wygland's troops hold, then Malwyn will be delayed at the outer wall with the Baelor. But we should make sure he doesn't get past us. Now, we must get moving. There is no room for error.
Get moving! I'll make sure they don't try that again. Someone's got to make sure these ladders stay down. And you need to move before O'Wygland's troops start falling back.
Finally, some reinforcements. We tried to fight off the Tuatha, but they took most of our company prisoner. They're threatening to execute the rest unless we lay down our arms. You could get in amongst them, silently, if possible, and save what's left of the survivors. I recommend you tread lightly in there. They'll probably kill any survivors if we try to mount a frontal assault. Normally, I'm a scout, but anybody that can swing a blade has to do their part today. The Tuatha moved on us in such numbers, we couldn't hold them all off.
This is our chance, before they can regain control of the creature! Ah! Theoden, guide my hand. For Rathir! This ends here!
You're still alive! You've got to destroy Baelor before it tears this place apart. I know, child. Everything seemed still in that moment when she struck the Baelor. At least she died how she wanted to. But her sacrifice won't mean anything unless you do something to stop that beast.
Are you reporting in? A Niskaru as big as this fortress. It's pushed us all the way back here, and now it is tearing down the very walls of Mel Senshir. The Tuatha must be truly mad to conjure up such a beast. The Tuatha are all over our lines. The battle is a bit of a mess right now. I heard them stop pounding, a bunch of fighting, and then nothing. Guess I have you to thank that we're not completely overrun. We held off the last wave, and then that thing showed up. I dragged them both here, but I don't think they're gonna make it. Join you? I can't just leave my posting in such a state. I'll try to hold up here best as I can. They're gone! After 10 years, I can't believe they're finally gone! It's over. After all these years, the siege is broken, and we're alive. Thank the gods for sending you to us. This is a glorious day, but I have heard a bitter rumor in the wake of all of this. Is it true? Has Talera fallen? Then the rumors of her dishonor will finally be silenced. She gave everything to us in the end, and the world will know that. When we rebuild these walls, we'll name them after General Talera. Her memory will stand as long as the ramparts shine. But she never would have been here had you not delivered her to us. It can never be enough, but we hope you'll accept this as our thanks. We freed the city, but the Tuatha still hold most of Cluricon. Over the years, they've infected every part of these swamps. Clearing them out isn't going to be easy, but we might have help. There are rumors of a small band of fighters harassing the Tuatha. Perhaps the hero of Mel Senshir can convince them to work with us. Good luck.
Behind me is the Mel Senshir jail, hero. All of the prisoners were given weapons and placed on the wall for the battle. It is empty now. Several times I thought the city would fall, but it was not our fate. The loss of the great general is a terrible blow. She was the greatest warrior in the army. This war has lasted so long it seems like that's all the city has ever known. Most of the criminals we get are deserters or drunken brawlers. The jail is currently empty. All of the prisoners were armed and sent to the wall before the battle. Someone has to guard the jail, although I'd much rather be pursuing the Tuatha. I am Megan, nurse to the wounded soldiers of the Alpha. How can I help you? Mistress Skaith is our head surgeon, though lately she's taken to disappearing for hours at a time. I cannot help but wonder where she goes. He came to us broken from the fighting. I fear that though his flesh has survived the siege, his mind has not. My family does not understand. They want me to settle down somewhere. There are so many who suffer and so few who help. I cannot just turn and look the other way. The poor soldiers of Mel Senshir desperately need a healer's touch. There are so many dead or dying, and so few of us to help.
I am Corialia Skaith, head surgeon here in Mel Senshir. Do you require healing? As head surgeon, I support the soldiers of the Alpha armies as best I can. Despite the recent and dramatic improvements in healing magic, few that make their way to my table survive. As great as our power may be, the power of the Tuatha is all the more destructive. Her services are adequate. I'll admit, her only fault lies in caring too much for her patients. A beautiful city, is it not? When the siege began, I came here straight away from studying with the Scholia Arcana in Rathir. The opportunity to observe the effects of violence firsthand and to help, of course, was too much to ignore. Oh, to be able to study their physiology. Impossible, of course, given how their bodies return to nature upon their death.
You're already dead. Nothing but another corpse, just like me. Another body for the feast. She's here, you know. Death. I've seen her. She's like a big fat crow come to eat my eyes. Please, don't let her eat my eyes. I don't want to die. A fool twice cursed. Once to fall in battle, nearly killed. Cursed again to keep on living in this wretched place, this nest of death and darkness. A whole city of crows, fat from feasting. Once I thought they were monsters, always rising. I didn't know then. I didn't understand where the real monsters live. Oh, she's a great, dark crow with 1,000 needle beaks. She's going to take me, you know. I've seen it. We're all beggars. Dead already and begging for the end. Beggars bent like hags, bent beneath a bloody fate. But you're no beggar at all. You're the scarecrow, aren't you? Shoo, death, shoo! I can see it, all around you. You're not like us, you're not like anyone. You're not afraid of death, are you? I am. I dream of her. She takes me beneath the tower and she does things, horrible things. Don't let her take me there, please. Don't let her open me up. I don't want to see what's inside. That's where she keeps her nest. We go beneath the tower, but we don't come out again. Don't go there. It's dangerous. Don't go. You won't come back.
Do you require healing? Master Hawkins is not well, I'm afraid. The injuries he sustained have broken both his body and his spirit. Do not trust anything he tells you. I can assure you that his mind is racked with a deep dementia.
Off into the swamps, I assume? None that would be of any help. After a decade of Tuatha control, they've all gone quiet. But if there are any out there, I'm sure they'll be looking for you. Just keep your eyes open. After all, you'll be in their swamp.
Greetings, hero. How may I assist you? It seems fate smiled on us when she brought you to our city. We would not have won without you. I was wrong to doubt her. She has proven that she was the greatest commander we have ever had. I was not originally a sagecrafter, but war breeds necessity, and I learned quickly. This city used to be a gem to behold, but years of war have destroyed much of its beauty.
Give your armor to Tarek Smith for repairs, and he'll give it back better than new. She is the first sword, the greatest champion of the Alfar army. I've been here almost a year. I guess you could call me a veteran at this point. Before the war, I worked for one of the merchant houses in Rathir. I knew about how terrible the siege was when I arrived. My brother had told me. He was killed the day before I was drafted.
Honor to you, champion. I watched from the battle's van while you faced Malwyn and his demon pet. You have earned great glory and the respect of all Alfar. If you have a moment, could I ask a favor of you? I have never been a part of a battle like that before. You and Tilera were magnificent. Historically, the First Sword is the greatest blade master of the Alfar army. I earned the title when I killed a Tuatha champion known as Zarastes. We grew up together back in Erethel. I've never known a warrior more courageous. Since the Tuatha penned us here, Mel Senshir has become more than just our home. It is where we made our stand. Now that the siege has been broken, it will be where we rise up and take the fight back to the cursed Tuatha. Since the battle, several of my men have asked for the chance to challenge the champion of Mel Senshir. You slew Malwyn and destroyed the great demon he commanded. They hold you in awe. 5 of our greatest fighters have asked, and if you accept, they will each face you here in the practice yard in single combat. There are 5 in total. Anayan Gaius, Tarek Smith, Safedra Will, Adrian Tyr, and my sister, Ragnar Sen. Tell me when you are prepared to fight, and I will summon the appropriate warrior. Good luck to you, champion. Excellent. Your first challenger is Anayan Gaius. He is a veteran of more than a dozen campaigns and my personal aide. This should prove interesting. That last fight with Anayan was interesting. He fared better than I thought, though I was unsurprised when you bested him. Prepared for your next challenge? Your next challenger is Tarek Smith. The smith spends all day pounding steel. Do not let him pound you too. You certainly didn't pull any punches with my blacksmith. I hope he can still hold a hammer tomorrow. Safedra Will is next. Are you prepared? Safedra is one of my best scouts, quick and agile. Give her any room and she'll make the ring into your grave. You handled Safedra readily enough. Perhaps it's time you face Adrian Tyr. Adrian Tyr survived alone 3 times when his company to a man has fallen. The soldier refuses to give up. He is fearless and enduring. It will take the force of God to bring him to his knees. Good luck. Adrian fell harder than I thought he would. Well done. Your final challenger is my sister, Ragnar. She is the finest weaponsmith in the Alfar army, and a peerless fighter. She will bury her sword in your heart if you are not careful. Do not underestimate her. One by one, the greatest of the Alfar have faced you in single combat, and all have fallen. Now it is my turn. I am Bronwyn Aurelia Sen, the first sword of the Alfar. I was born in battle, and hundreds have fallen by my hand. Let us see what you are truly made of, champion. You are worthy of honor, warrior. I have never faced your equal. Take this. Tilera herself granted me this blade for the slaying of the Tuatha champion Zerastes, but you deserve it more than I. The Alfar honor you, champion. May the Tuatha fear your coming.
Well, you bent me over the anvil right proper. I did not see the demon fall, but I felt the earth shake. To slay such a creature, you must have been blessed by the gods. She is the highest-ranking blade master in the Alfar army, and she fought beside Tilera herself. Could probably have gutted the Baelor too, if she'd gotten close. Bronwyn Sen is a living legend. Treat her with respect. A terrible loss for us. Should have been her leading our army south. This is as good a place as any to die. Not that I plan on doing that just yet, mind you. The woman is a poet with a hammer. No one forges a finer blade. Her twin sister Bronwyn, his first sword. You don't even know what that means, do you? I came here to join the fight, but with all the smithing that needs to be done, I haven't been able to escape the forge.
You truly are the champion of the war. Maybe one day I'll forge a blade worthy of your hand. My sister. She has some skill with a blade, yes. Try not to make her angry. I knew Tilera my whole life. She is a hero to the Alfar. For years, the Tuatha have sought to break down these walls, and for years, they have failed. Mel Senshir will never fall. I grew up with Bronwyn in Tilera, so don't think that the only thing I can do with a blade is forge one.
You couldn't leave the prattling of a madman alone, could you? This is my sanctum, trespasser. You couldn't possibly understand the work I'm doing here. I fear I will need to kill you now. Perhaps the process will provide some insights into your unique power. Don't you see? The physiology of the mortal races is a book we've barely begun to crack. You couldn't possibly understand. I take these young men and women and I open them and I see what truly lives within. Magic is changing and so are those who wield it. I am merely bold enough to look and learn the how and why. How unsurprisingly noble of you. Few possess the intellectual acuity to appreciate my work. Very well. Perhaps I will learn something from your death.
She's dead, isn't she? The moment she passed, the clouds surrounding my mind seemed to pass. What a wretched woman. Who knows how long she's been here, preying on the weak and injured. Seems I named you well, Scarecrow. I cannot thank you enough for what you've done. I do not think that I can return to the Chandlery after what I've seen. Where does one go after they've seen the horror of war? A kind soul, she hasn't left the hospital since the siege. I don't think she even sleeps. I wish I'd never come to this cursed city. I survived the horror of battle only to find the horrors of the hospital.